Dustin.
What's up, man?
Hello. Hi. It is the ambiguous fall when this episode's being released, and so it makes it prime for some horror movie recommendations. So I had a few of them, and so I just wanted to breeze on through them. Yeah.
Go for
All
it.
right. The first one is It Comes at Night.
I just want to talk. And I want honest answers. Do you have any idea what's going on out there? I'm going to try and help your new family.
I want to thank you again for letting us stay here.
Just going to run through a few things. When we go out during the day, we like to stick to groups just for safety. The red door, it's the only way in and out of the house. It stays closed and locked all the time. I have the keys. It's the only set. Most important thing.
What's he see?
It's okay. Just go inside. We never go out at night.
The door was already open when you got there.
Yeah.
Then who opened it?
I think they're sick.
Put your mask on. Nobody's sick here.
Can't trust anyone but family. You don't get it.
How old are you, Travis?
If they're sick, then I am too. If you're lying to me, I will kill you.
So these films, actually, in the order I've got them, will be less and less recent films. But It Comes at Night was made in 2017. This is currently on HBO Max. I think it might have been where I watched it. I don't remember. The movie is written and directed by Trey Edward Schultz. So it stars Joel Edgerton, Christopher Abbott, Carmen Ejogo, Riley Keough, hey, and Kelvin Harrison Jr. So It Comes at Night is it's a horror film, and it's just about a family who lives in a forest as there's some pandemic happening across the world, basically. Ratchets up when another family basically shows up and they decide to take them in and, you know, expand their living situation to accommodate these other people. And psychological horror ensues. So this is a grim one. Of course, like any movie, it's got moments of levity and warmth, but like any dreadful story, nothing good lasts in this film. Everything happy ends. And but I love a good post-crisis survival movie, which is basically what this is. It's very, you know, slow-paced and atmospheric, and a whole lot of, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like, what is an everyday life shot, and what is a setup for something that will happen later? You know, I don't have much else to say, and I don't want to spoil anything for people. So like, it's a solid movie if you're looking for atmospheric horror where there is no supernatural boogeyman. I might argue it's predictable in that sense. Like, okay, what's going to happen? Well, probably someone's going to go crazy, or something's going to turn them on each other, right? Like, you know, but I thought it was fine, and it certainly was worth my time. And I don't know, I just felt like it was cool.
Yeah.
Joel Edgerton's always good. I don't know if I just, in my mind, Joel Edgerton like has like improved greatly over the years. But then another part of me is like, Joel Edgerton was always good. What am I talking about? Like, why in my mind, why am I like patronizing him? Like, oh, look how far you've come, as if he used to be a horrible actor who is now good. I don't know why, but like my brain has, every time I see him, I'm like, oh, it just continues a great run. And it's like, you mean his whole career where he's just been solid and delivers all the time? I don't know.
I was going to say, I like Joel Edgerton.
Joel Edgerton's great. And so he's just very, very watchable. It's just, the movie's great. Again, a writer director here. So a pretty singular vision. And, I think that's important with horror. So anyways, that's It Comes at Night. Something else it does is it follows.
I used to daydream about being old enough to go on dates. I had this image of myself holding hands with a really cute guy, driving along some pretty road. It was never about going anywhere, really. Just having some sort of freedom, I guess.
Jay, you awake?
What are you doing?
You're not gonna believe me, and I need you to remember what I'm saying. This thing, it's gonna follow you. Somebody gave it to me, and I passed it to you.
Wherever you are, it's somewhere walking straight for you. All you can do is pass it along to someone else.
I'm scared. I need to find him.
What did it really do to you?
Apparently, he used a fake name to rent a house in the city.
This isn't real, I swear to you, this is just some game. If it kills her, it gets me and goes straight down the line to whoever started it.
What exactly is supposed to be following you?
I don't know.
Something happened. It's not what she thinks, okay?
You don't believe me. Mom?
No, it's me.
Everything's okay.
It could look like someone you know, or it could be a stranger in a crowd. Whatever helps it get close to you.
It stars Micah Monroe, Keir Gilchrist, Olivia Lucardi, Daniel Zavato, Jake Weary. I recognize Keir Gilchrist from Atypical from Netflix, and Micah Monroe most recently was in Long Legs. People would know her from that if you've been checking her out lately. So yeah, It Follows is about a college girl who it becomes the target of this entity. And the whole concept of It Follows, you may have seen stuff on the internet about it, but it's just, you see the thing and it looks like, this is going to sound kind of familiar, but it could look like someone you know, or just a person. And the whole concept is you see it and no one else can see it. But it's walking towards you, and if it gets to you, that's bad. You know?
Sure.
Something happens. Now it's not like, oh, well, let's find out. Like, and it's nothing. It's like, no, something happens. You see it reach someone, and it's bad. You die. But I mean, like, it doesn't just poke you on the head and you disintegrate. Like, it's not good. You don't want it to reach you. It's not pleasant. So the movie. So in that sense, I remember when we were talking about Smile, I think it was Callan who said it's basically It Follows, like in that sense, like the nature of the entities, like mechanics, it can appear as anyone, and no one else can see it. Those are big staples of Smile as well. So it's a solid, I guess I would call it a lo-fi horror film. where, again, the easy to make. I mean, what was the budget on this? It was, $1.3 million. Crazy. And it made $23 million. Great money. Yeah, I know. And I would call it 70s style cinematography with some of these wide shots that and long zooms from wide shots. A lot of long unbroken takes, a lot, and as well as this crazy cool use of really engaging 360 shots, which I thought was really interesting and different.
Yeah.
A bit hard to stomach on streaming with the frame rate.
Sure.
It's turning and it's going and I'm like, oh. What follows is me vomiting. But a slow atmospheric pace. Micah Monroe is terrific in the lead role. I'm not sure that I want to see a sequel to this, although considering everything the director has said about what it is, but they are considering making a sequel. It sounds like he and Monroe are returning. And if so, then maybe it'll be worth it. So if you never saw this, I do recommend it. There was a big misconception that because the people who see the entity, it's connected by sex, that the big joke was, oh, so is it like STIs? And it's like, no, it's not. It's just, finally, like the director was like, it's basically just, the looming specter of death. It's much more like basic than that. It's just, it's another movie kind of about the what does he say? Director Mitchell stated, I'm not personally that interested in where it comes from. To me, it's dream logic in the sense that they're in a nightmare. And when you're in a nightmare, there's no solving the nightmare, even if you try to solve it. He said that while Jay opens herself up to danger through sex, the one way in which she can free herself from that danger, we're all here for a limited amount of time. We can't escape our mortality, but love and sex are two ways in which we can at least temporarily push death away. So it's just like, but that got taken to being like, well, like some groups were like, abstinence. It's like, it's not the point of the movie. It's just, you're overthinking the mechanics of how it happens. It's just, anyway. So
it's just a horror movie.
Considering that, it's like, oh, then he would never want to make another one. But someone was like, we're going to make another one. And I imagine he was like, okay, I'll figure it out then.
Yeah.
So, but I liked It Follows because I'd heard, it came out 10 years ago. And I remember like when it was coming out thinking like, oh, it kind of looks dumb. But all I heard about it over 10 years was pretty solid.
That's all I've heard.
It kept coming up and I was like, damn it. All right, I'll check it out. And I did. And I was like, yeah, pretty solid.
Sweet.
Yeah. Cool. Like just creepy enough to where you're like, okay, I'm unsettled, but not trying to like, freak you out with horrific, disturbing imagery, just a good unsettling plot that allows you to focus on the characters instead of being freaked out by an entity the whole time,
Yeah.
So in that way, it comes at night, there's not even a boogeyman. And that's part of what allows you to focus on the characters a little more. And so It Follows is the same way. All right. In 2008, somebody made a film called Lake Mungo.
I feel like something bad is going to happen to me. It hasn't reached me yet, but it's on its way.
Family and friends normally tranquil setting of Ararat's to pay their final respects to a young woman taken too soon.
10 days after Ellie's funeral, stuff started happening around the house. Sounds seemed to come from Ellie's old room.
They didn't really relent, so I thought, well, I'll just set up a camera, just, I see anything. I looked back and there was footage of a figure moving across the hallway.
The image was quite unsettling because it certainly looked like Alice.
Won't you close your eyes? I usually videotape my sessions. Something was happening inside that house and I wanted to find out what it was. We checked the tapes.
There was a ghost in our house.
Alice kept secrets. She
kept the fact she kept secrets a secret.
Something bad is going to happen to me.
Alice knew she was going to die.
I feel like something bad has happened. It hasn't reached me yet, but it's on its way. And it's getting closer.
Lake Mungo, I watched on Tubi. And writer-director Joel Anderson here. Noticing a theme tonight, not just the genre. This is an Australian film. It stars Talia Zucker, David Pledger, Rosie Traynor, Martin Sharp, Steve Jodrell. You know who those people are? Nope. That's part of the charm. This is a documentary style film, not quite found footage. There's elements of found footage. There's like phone, 2008 era phone footage,
Sure.
Flip phone camera footage. But the narrative style is not found footage. It's documentary. And Lake Mungo is essentially about this family in Australia dealing with the death of their daughter, and her brother's in it too. But their 16-year-old girl drowns and her family is dealing with that. And in the course of, the reason they're in a documentary is because there's more to the story. Stuff started happening after her funeral and they learned other stuff that went on and blah, blah, blah. Lake Mungo, again, pretty low key, steady, steadily unfolding plot of, because first it's just sad and it's sad the whole time because they're grieving, but it's that's sad. Then, okay, now stuff's happening and it's a little creepy. And it's now we're going to set up cameras, in the hallway to record stuff over 24 hours. And now we got a medium involved and now we're seeing stuff. And, what are we seeing? Who are we seeing? It's not always the girl. It's sometimes it's another person. And then you're like, what's up with that? And then you learn more stuff. And then you find additional footage. And then you see the stuff on that footage. And then you're like, oh my God. And then there's more footage. And then you see that and you're like, oh my God. And it just kind of keeps feeding you stuff. When I wrote the notes for this, I wrote that it wasn't a strong recommendation, but a solid one. And that I felt like it ultimately leaves you with more questions than it answers, but that I had a good time watching it.
Sure.
The more I hear people analyze it and the more I kind of ruminate on it, because for a lot of people, this is the scariest movie they've ever seen. And I'm like, okay, that's odd to me because there's some creepy parts, but now I watched this in the middle of the day, so I don't know. Sure. Because there's no way, because I'm not an idiot. There's no way in hell I'm watching this at night.
Yep.
But I don't know. It just depends on what scares you. And, for some people, the Conjuring movies are the scariest thing ever because, demons are the scariest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for some people, stuff like this, I don't think of I just don't think of the film as scary in that sense. I just think of it as, it's certainly a horror film and there's certainly shots that are creepy. And there's a particular shot, towards the end that's by far the scariest thing. But it's mostly just kind of not even as much dread as it follows. It's just stuff will happen and you'll be like, oh, okay. Yep. That's scary. And it's more just disturbing and inexplicable. And then at the very end, once we start to roll credits, we go back and look at some stuff and then then they show you things you didn't notice before, in footage and in photos. And then you're like, oh, and then you get a little more, freaked out. So I don't know. So I mean, I recommend all three of these, but I do recommend Lake Mungo. I just don't think it's going to be the scariest thing you've ever seen.
Sure.
But again, I'm watching this now, not in 2008. So I don't know.
Right.
But it is disturbing. I mean, the things you see, I mean, that one shot is disturbing, and it would disturb anyone in real life encountering it. It's disturbing to look at as a viewer, and it's a disturbing concept to ruminate on. You know, when you think about when you think about it later, you're like, oh, you know, like it's kind of the whole theme. So I don't want to spoil what it is. Anyways, I don't know. I recommend Lake Mungo. So
sweet.
It's a funny name, but it's not a funny movie.
I just say it sounds like a terrible B movie.
Lake Mungo, oh Lake Mungo. I'm thinking of like a fun like Beach Boys movie.
Like, I was just thinking of like a really bad like creature feature.
No, yeah. It came from Lake Mungo.
Lake Mungo. It's the Mungo monster. Look out.
Oh, look out. Something's in the fucking water.
There's something in the water.
There's something in the water. It's full of Lake Mungo. I think because Mungo Jerry is like a band, I was just thinking of like ding 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 ding.
Sure.
Lake Mungo. Oh, Lake Mungo.
You're thinking of like an old Elvis movie.
Yeah, like a Brady Bunch sequel or something.
Sure.
Hey, gang, you want to go to Lake Mungo? Come on, Dad.
It does kind of sound like a Scooby-Doo area.
Scooby-Doo and Lake Mungo. The Mungo Mutts.
I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Eating up all my Mungo Mutts. Like these swamp dogs that come out of the lake. Yeah. It's the Mungo Mutts run.
They pull it off. It's just dogs covered in seaweed.
Just very hungry dogs trained to bark at strangers.
They're not even scary dogs. They're just golden retrievers.
Regular dogs.
Just a dog.
Painted green, look all sloppy. The Mungo Mutts. All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mungo Mutts away.
And then the Hanna-Barbera flyaway effect, that sound effect. Yeah. Oh, you're thinking of the star at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of when like they freeze the layer and spin it, but the layer like drags.
Oh yeah.
You know, like when you win solitaire.
Yes. I thought you were talking about like there was like a star logo that was at the end of those cartoons. It was just like a star that was like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And then it goes to the Cartoon Network bumper. Dun, 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 dun. Cartoon.
That was taking me back.
In anybody listening to this podcast that is younger than 29 has no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah. What's a cartoon?
What do you mean a cartoon?
Go away.
You're really going to lose it when we tell you about, oh yeah, cartoons.
Let me tell you kids about Toonami. You ever heard of Tom or Tom 2?
Yeah, they know about Adult Swim now. That's it.
Speaking of, you want to talk about, Prometheus or Alien Romulus and the black goo. The black goo is what killed Tom, right? Because like, isn't that what like flooded his ship and like drowns him?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. We need to review.
You all watched way more
arc.
DBZ than I did, so my memories of Tom are very slim.
That was a whole thing. I want to find on YouTube does someone have like all of those like
segments?
Yeah, like those 60-second like segments between cartoons that show that the actual arc of this journey. Because it was like they'd show like the exteriors of the ship all the time flying before we talked to Tom, and he'd say, "Oh, now we're gonna watch Sailor Moon." But then like when this goo was happening or whatever it was, the ship was noticeably more damaged in the exterior shots and increasingly so. and eventually they break into like the cockpit and it drowns him and he basically dies. You're like, oh shit. Like, how are we
Good Lord.
You know, and then like he emerges as Tom too, and he's taller and thinner, and but he's got the same cool voice, and he's like, hey everybody, like Dragon Ball Z is next. You know, it's just I don't know. But for me, I was like, oh shit. I was like so invested, and they'd start a show and be like, wait, no, Tom, wait, is he okay? Is Tom all right?
All I know is, so I just went to YouTube and typed in Toonami, and there's this thing called Toonami Full Cycle.
Ooh.
It's an hour long. It says promos and commercials.
That's gotta be it.
Presumably.
All right.
I don't know how else to find it.
Send that to me. Yeah, I want to see it. That's gotta be it. Audience, I want you to watch it too. And also, goodbye. Why are you still here? Go away.
Get out of here. Go home.
Dragon Ball Z is next.
Dragon Ball Z is next. On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, will Hooper and Dustin find an episode or a movie that they like? Find out next time.
Is the Full Cycle video the real deal?
Find out next time on Hoopercast Z.
Will Piccolo ever sleep with a woman? Will we ever see a Namekian woman? How do they reproduce? How are they born? To what extent can they experience pleasure or fun? Find out sometime.
I think you're thinking about this too much.
More from my diary next on Dragon Ball Z.
More thoughts I had while I was pooping on Dragon Ball Z.
More things not in this script. Next time. I've just been fired. Goodbye.
Hi, I'm his replacement.
Stay tuned for my fan fiction.
Oh no, the desk is full of drawings. Don't look at these.
Do the Namekian butts have that? Do they go up in that pink section where the muscles are, or are they green?
Is it a multicolored butt like a baboon?
Why does their skin determine exactly where their belt goes? Are they underrepresented in film, unable to stand in front of a green screen?
Go woke.
Free Namek.
Woke for Namekians.
I'm not sorry. I'm just trying to pad the runtime at this point. We had to get this one over a half hour. We did it. We did it, everybody.
I would improv more with you, but my frame of reference for Dragon Ball Z is so small.
Has it ended? Have we reached the end? You reached the end of...
Actually, I do have that. Why does the pig talk? I don't understand that.
You know, my question has been it has nothing to do with Oolong and whether or not he talks. My thing has been, is Chaozu a human, or is he like just a small little alien friend of Tien?
Who is that?
Good night, everybody.
There's something in the water. There's something in the water.
It's the Mungo Mutts run.